What's good, y'all? We back. Another video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Get down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Today's video, I want to tell brothers, it's time to stop whoring ourselves out, man. And I say that because there's a lot of men that come online and they're looking for answers. They have questions about their life, about what they've been through, about what they think their life should be, where they think their life should be, why it's not there. Just a whole lot of questions that brothers really have the answers to. They just don't know how to access it. And I'm here to tell y'all that the answers is within you. And the way you find those answers is you have to start caring about you. Worrying about your well-being. And actually taking it serious. Because see, a lot of us men, we spend a lot of time in our lives playing around. We spend a lot of our time thinking that we have all of this time to play around, when we actually don't. We don't have as much time as we think. And a lot of us are getting older. A lot of us are already at a certain age where you guys are beginning to worry about how much longer y'all got to live. And the reason why your mortality is beginning to come into question for you guys is simply because you haven't been living life for you. You've been whoring yourself out. And as black men, this is what we have to stop doing. And the way that we whore ourselves out is by living according to the standards and the ways of this world. This is why you always feel overwhelmed and overworked and, stressed. You feel like things are not gonna work out, or things is just always a squeeze and a struggle, and that's part of life. But a lot of times what we don't realize as men is we don't realize how we can put those things on ourselves sometimes with trying to appease a part of us that we realize once we get older is only temporary. All of this, going out and partying and all of that shit is temporary, man. And a lot of times when we start getting older as men is when we realize this stuff, is when we start to question the things that we believe in. We start to question, why do we do these things? Why do these things all of a sudden begin to lose its relevance. You know, like, for instance, I'm gonna say for myself, me and my friends, we partied a lot when we were young. You know, we clubbed a lot. We partied a lot more in our teenage years than when we was in our 20s. In our 20s, you know, we sat back and we focused on other shit. But in our 20s, in our teens to late teens, even I'm gonna say to our early 20s, that's when we did a lot of partying, you know? When we was in high school, we was in the grown clubs. We had fake IDs. We used to pay the bouncers to get in. We used to do all of that shit. We done all of that stuff. You know, we done the Labor Day parades, and, you know, we done these things. We've done these things. These are not things that haven't been done. We've done these things. You know, we've partied enough. You know, and what we're learning is it's actually not good to waste those years partying. You know, it's something that we learn. It's a learning lesson, but it's not good at the end of the day because it set us back. We wasted a lot of time wanting to party and wanting to do all of that bullshit that really don't mean nothing. You know? That's what we realized. We realized that we were whoring ourselves out. This is why you're supposed to mature with your age. And with maturity comes you not dealing with certain people no more, you not going certain places anymore. That's part of it. That's part of it, because at the end of the day, what we realize is we was trying to impress everybody and trying to live for everybody but ourselves. And now we're at an age where everybody expects you to live for yourself. Everybody expects you to be able to live for yourself. And this is where a lot of us as black men, we drop the ball. Honestly, we do. Because we have to realize that this shit is temporary, man. All the stuff that we chasing and we think is cool, it's temporary. It's temporary, y'all. It is not here to stay. None of that shit really matters in your life at the end of the day. It's just a bunch of temporary memories. Because we know as men, the things that really, really matter, that really holds merit in our lives, are the things that's really going to be remembered. You know, us sitting around talking about how we used to go to the club, that shit is just like part of a frivolous conversation. That's not no real memories to be remembered. But a lot of us as men, we spend a lot of time creating these temporary memories, and we don't see how we can permanently mess up our lives. You see? And this is how we whore ourselves out. Because we willing to do anything for the turn up. We trying to go somewhere and turn up when we should be somewhere turning up the value of our lives as men on all levels. That's what we should be focused on, because we only have a limited time here, fellas. And the last thing you want to do before you die is regret a bunch of shit. You got to learn to live with regrets. You don't want to die with them. So we have to stop whoring ourselves out. So we're not dying with all these regrets. We're not dying leaving our children a bunch of debt and bills and stuff like that because we decided to sit around and play for keeps in a temporary game. See, when you chasing this world and you allowing this world to whore you out, you playing a temporary game. You playing for keeps in a temporary game. That's why, if you notice, we lose. Because that's how it's designed. You are not designed to impress this world. You are here to operate within the world. And a lot of us men, we don't understand this. And we get caught up, and then we be trying to catch up. We get caught up, and then we trying to catch up. Because we have to now. We have to catch up. And it's because we chasing temporary shit. Forgetting that, what if you make it through these things? See, a lot of us, we play the temporary game too, because a lot of us think that, or thought at one point, that we wouldn't even make it past certain ages. We wouldn't make it through certain things. So that's why guys played the game the way they played it too, because they felt like, well, hey, it's a possibility I'm not going to make it anyway, so I might as well play the game this way. I might as well play the game this way. See, I understand that. But still understand that you playing a temporary game. That's what this is about. So if we understand that this life here is temporary, why would you make lifetime permanent decisions? Why would you put yourself in certain positions to affect your life permanently? And this is how we have to start thinking, and this is what we have to start teaching our young men and our young women. Don't make permanent life decisions based on temporary situations. Don't spend all your money trying to impress people in your younger years, because these people you might not even ever see again. Now you done spent your life goddamn fortune on something that was supposed to be used to improve your life. You done spent all of that on temporary people. How many of us know people like that? People blew their whole fortune trying to impress, and appease people who are probably not even going to be in your life within the next 5 years. You don't know. But this is what we do. This is what we do. And we don't understand how that shit affects us. We don't understand. But we have to stop doing this. Especially if if we say we're thinking black men. We have to see beyond the veil. We have to see beyond the curtain. We have to look beyond what we see. So you got to see past the clothes. You got to see past the cars. You got to see past of all of this, prestige and fame that a lot of you guys are chasing after. You got to see past that. What if you never become that? Some guys, they They thought that their purpose was to be some famous, known guy. And what happens when that's really not your purpose? And you find out that you don't even know your purpose. Then what? Then what? This is why we have to stop whoring ourselves out to this world. Because that is what we do. And when we do this, we lose ourselves. We don't understand why, as men, a lot of us are lost. And then we come online and we ask these women to navigate us. We ask these women to put us back on track when it don't work like that. A woman needs a guide. That is your job as a man, to be her guide, her guy, her guide. You know? But a lot of you guys, y'all don't understand this because y'all have been whoring yourselves out for so long that you don't know how to take control of your life or of a situation. You don't know how to. You don't find it to be important because you whore yourself out. This is what usually happens over time with whores. You ever heard that song, Lost and Turned Out? Where you think that song came from, Lost and Turned Out? Where you think it came from? So as a man, is that something you want to be? Is that someone you think you're supposed to be as a man? Someone that's lost and turned out? Because that's what happens when you whore yourself out. That's what has happened to a lot of us men. We're lost and turned out. We trying to find our way. You see? You can't lead nobody when you lost yourself, man. You already lost yourself. Who you leading? You don't even know where you're going. And you don't know where you're going because you don't have a destination. Your destination is impressing other people. That's your destination. To impress other people and to make other people see value in something that you don't see value in, which is you. So you go around searching for acceptance, searching for validation, just like the whore. You're whoring yourselves out, fellas. And you have to stop doing this because what y'all are doing is y'all are turning around and finding people to blame. Oh, this is such and such fault. Oh, it's such and such fault. No, it's not. It's your fault. It's your fault. Ain't nobody's fault but your own. To give me some water real quick. But there ain't nobody's fault but your own. Ain't nobody's fault but your own. And a lot of y'all, just like these females, y'all look for somebody to blame because y'all don't know how to solve the problem. Well, let me tell you how to solve the problem. Stop whoring yourself out. Stop worrying about what this world think of you so goddamn much. The world is never gonna like you. You're a black man. You understand? So stop looking to be liked. Stop looking to be, oh, come and be a part of us. And no, stop looking for that. And if you have a certain personality, you really have to stop looking for acceptance from this world. Because the majority of the people not going to accept you. And then the people who claim they accept you, you got to be careful of them too. Because you got to remember, man, these people are here to keep this system intact. This system is all about continuously creating worldly people. You see? So when you stop giving this world and the philosophies of this world access to your mentality and access to your heart and access to your vision, that's when you begin to stop whoring yourself out. But the only way you're going to stop doing that is you have to stop caring about what the world has to offer. You see? See, if you still chasing that Benz and that Rolex, you still looking for that validation. Because a Rolex is nothing but a watch. And it's a watch that people put value on based on a price. You see? When value is not based on price, value is based on worth. And the reason why Rolexes are worth what they're worth is because of what comes behind the name. The name. So once again, you are living your life to be represented by something that you see is more valuable than yourself. This is what's making you a whore. Because you think Rolex is more valuable than you because of what people pay for their watches. So you don't see yourself of any value. That's why you have to get the Rolex. So then you can say, I'm a rich dude. I'm a man of wealth. I'm a man that's about this. I'm a man that's about that. You only could say that because you got a Rolex and you drive a Benz. You see? Who are you without those things? A lot of y'all can't answer that because you're judging yourself on what the world tells you to be. This is why I said what I said. You have to stop being worldly and whoring yourself out, because that's the purpose of men or women being whores. It is because they are in love and infatuated with the world, and they looking for validation and acceptance from the world. That's the whole reason for them operating that way, because you see no value in you. You see the value in what everybody else has to say more than what you have to say. So how are you in control of your life? How are you actually a leader when you're allowing someone else to dictate how you feel about yourself based on a construct that is built to keep you enslaved? But y'all don't see that is a perfect way to enslave a person. And the first way to enslave a person, in which they did, was you had to remove a person's spiritual value. You have to remove self-worth. And that is what the system tells you, that you are not worthy of anything if you don't have certain material possessions. If you haven't reached a certain level of material success, it tells you that you are not worth anything. You have no self-worth. No one should respect you. You shouldn't have dignity. You shouldn't care about any of these things. That's what this system tells you. That's what this world tells you. That is how they initially invite you to be into enslaving yourself. Because once you believe that bullshit, you then begin to operate that way. You then begin to live that way. And then when you procreate, you are going to teach your children that. You understand? And so on and so forth. But how do y'all think this stuff occurs? This stuff happens. Why? Because we believe that this world gives us some value for ourselves when it doesn't. This is just a place that is temporary, that you operate in, and you do the things necessary while you're here to survive. All of the other things are traps. This is why they say in the Bible to live in the world, not to be of the world, not to covet things, not to covet people, not to have false idols. Because all these things create, it creates a level of whoredom where people begin to whore themselves out. Or they use these things and they begin to pimp society. And this is what you have going on. Where everyone's being pimped. Everyone's being pimped. You see? So you got to understand when we say, stop whoring yourself out, fellas. This is what you're actually doing. You're running yourself raggedy. You know? You're running yourself raggedy. And you're running yourself raggedy for a false narrative. You're running yourself raggedy for things that really don't hold no true value. Because the true value lies within the internal things. A man's true value is what he puts into himself and into his family. How he represents God. That's a man's true value. But if we running around here, you know, doing and saying and operating that impress motherfuckers in this world, and then wondering why we still feel empty. No matter how much you do, you still feel empty. You still feel like there's more you need to do. It's because you're not aligned with your purpose. And you actually been whoring yourself out. And you're starting to feel the effects of it. This is why you still feel empty. This is why you still feel there's something else you need to do, but you don't know what it is. The way you'll find out is to stop whoring yourself out. Stop making yourself available to all of this worldly shit and get in tune with yourself. Get in tune with your spirituality. Get in tune with God. Get in tune with your health. Get in tune with your family. This is where you can find, this is when you will find and have access to what you're really looking for. You're not gonna find it out here in this world. You're not gonna find it out here chasing this bullshit. You're not gonna find it. It's not meant for you to find it here. You're not gonna find yourself in the world. You're not. All you're gonna do is lose yourself. And let's just be honest, men, a lot of us have lost ourselves. That's why a lot of us come online and we seek advice and other things, because we've allowed this world to convince us that we're only valuable because we're here. And because we do the things that the world tells us to do. This is why a lot of us are, self-deleting ourselves. A lot of us are losing our minds and deleting other people. It is simply because we're lost. We're lost. We've lost the knowledge of self. Right? We've lost our purpose. We've lost our way. You see? And it is because we've gave this world too much access to our essence as men. We have wrapped our purpose around this world. And that is not where our purpose is. We're here on earth to do the things that we're supposed to do, but we are not supposed to love the world. We're just here to do the work as men. But we don't understand that. We get caught up in this shit, and we start thinking we more than what we are. And what a lot of guys are afraid to speak about, but this is why I allow brothers the space to speak about it here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV, that, see, it comes a time where all that shit gonna come crashing down on you. All of that stuff is gonna come crashing down on you, and you're gonna start feeling the effects of it, of whoring yourself out, of giving yourself more to this world than to your family, than to God, than to yourself. Because let's just be honest, a lot of us guys out here, we do a lot of shit, or we partake in a lot of stuff that we really don't want to be doing. A lot of us, if we really was operating out of ourselves, out of what we really like, a lot of us would be sitting around probably doing some nerd shit, man. But we've allowed this system to whore us out so much that we're afraid to show other people what we really like and what we're really into. And we get caught up in trying to impress the world so much that we can't even show what we really like. We can't show our real hobbies and what we really into. Dudes are ashamed to show that they collect coins, or they collect stamps, or they collect things, and you know, they're afraid to show these parts of themselves because this world tells you that you better not. You better not. You see? They don't want you to think about how you're operating. Because when you begin to think about how you operating, you then begin to question the program. And that's the last thing they want black men doing. They don't want us questioning the program. That's what they don't want us doing, questioning the program. If we are questioning the program, then there's a problem. Questioning the program is a problem. You see? Because if you begin to question the program, what you're actually doing is you're beginning to value yourself. You're beginning to see things that they don't want you to see. And once you begin to have some self-worth and some value, you'll stop whoring yourself out. You'll stop caring about what the fuck this world thinks and trying to appease a bunch of bullshit. But then as men, when we die, we don't leave a proper legacy Forget just the money. Forget just the money aspect. What about the teachings? What about what the children are going to follow as a blueprint, as a code, as a way of life, as modes of operation? What about those things? It's not just about leaving the family some money to survive. You don't just survive off money. You don't just live off bread alone. We got a lot to do, fellas. Get down in the comments section. Let me know what y'all think. Stop whoring yourself out, bros. Love yourself. We're our own agency. It's agency over atrophy over here. Heal before you build.